So just from a professional standpoint, we know the science is not quite definitive yet. We know what the weight of it is on that. But if I have a cell phone, and I ask you a professional opinion on this, and I was going to talk on it like this, or if I could use this device here, which I plug into it, and then put this in my ear, like this, and hold this away from me, and I could talk here with my little microphone here. In your advice, which would be best for me to do?
My understanding is that the position that you're holding the phone now is preferable to up against your head.
Preferable to holding it up to your ear. So you would advise people who might be using cell phones as a precaution, because we don't know the weight, but if they can do this, it would be better to have some kind of device like this.
As I understand it, yes.
Now, as opposed to a Bluetooth. Now, a Bluetooth is an electronic device, and it still receives the electromagnetic low-frequency radiation, unlike this, which just comes through a line. So would this be better than, say, a Bluetooth-type device?
I must admit I do not own a Bluetooth. I was under the assumption that the Bluetooth technology was what you're describing, but I didn't.
That is not Bluetooth. No, this is wired. This is a wire, copper wire. Bluetooth is something that would receive from this device to a Bluetooth without any connection whatsoever, and therefore you would still get the radio frequencies right near your head, even when you talk into the microphone on a Bluetooth. You're getting the transmission very close to your brain, and on this, of course, it's down here quite a ways away from.
I stand corrected.
But you would say this would be preferable.
Yes.
To use that kind of device. Yes. I'm going to ask the same question of the other panelists that come up. I'd like to see what they say too. Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Booker. We have to move on. Thank you very much for your expert testimony, and thank you for the work you do at the National Toxicology Laboratories. Thank you, Doctor. And now we'll call our second panel, big panel. I will introduce them, and you can come up and take your seats accordingly. Dr. Darius Lazinski, a research professor at the Radiation and Nuclear Safety Authority in Helsinki, Finland. Holds professorships in China and at the University of Helsinki in Finland. He earned his PhD from the University of Helsinki, has lectured on the topic of mobile phones around the world, and has co-chaired 2 World Health Organization workshops on this issue. Dr. Sigal Sadetsky, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Not bad. The head of the Clinical Epidemiology Department at Sheba Medical Center and director of the Cancer and Radiation Epidemiology Unit at the Gertner Institute in Israel, which are affiliated with Tel Aviv University. Received her MD from the Technion Medical School in Haifa, a Master's of Public Health from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Dr. Sadetsky wrote the Israeli Ministry of Health Guidelines for the use of cell phones in adults and children. And we have Dr. Linda Erdrich. I hope that's again right. Dr. Erdrich, a senior management scientist for Exponent, an engineering and scientific consulting firm. She has 30 years of experience in environmental epidemiology and health risk assessment. Earned her PhD in epidemiology from the University of Oklahoma and an MS in biostatistics and epidemiology. Dr. Deborah Lee Davis, I'm sure I got that right, is a professor of epidemiology at the University of Pittsburgh Graduate School of Public Health. She earned a PhD in science studies at the University of Chicago and an MPH in epidemiology at Johns Hopkins. She served on numerous governmental and international advisory boards and recently wrote the book, quote, The Secret History of the War on Cancer. And lastly, Dr. Olga Naidenko. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Olga Naidenko, a senior scientist at the Environmental Working Group, a Washington, D.C.-based nonprofit organization. Received her PhD in molecular biology and immunology from UCLA. Was the lead author on the report issued last week by the Environmental Working Group on the topic of cell phone radiation. We welcome all of you here. Go, Dr. Zinsky, or Lachinsky, or Zinsky? Lachinsky. We'll start with you, and then we'll just go down. Again, I'd ask you if you could 5 to 7 minutes, something like that, if you could summarize it, because I'm sure we'd like to get into a discussion with each of you. As I said, your statements will be made a part of the record in their entirety. Dr. Lachinsky, welcome, and please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me to this important hearing on topic of great concern to all of us. My name is Dariusz Leszczyński, and I'm a research professor at the Radiation and Nuclear Safety Authority in Finland. I'm also one general professor at the Zhejiang University in China and adjunct professor of biochemistry at the University of Helsinki in Finland. At this point, I would like also to thank Dr. Deborah Davis, who made it possible for me to participate in this hearing. I have been working doing basic laboratory experimental research in the field of biological and health effects of mobile phones for the past 10 years. The findings of my research group suggest that the mobile phone radiation might induce biological responses. However, these findings do not yet prove that there exists health hazard. My institution, Radiation and Nuclear Safety Authority in Finland, has issued 2 advisories for mobile phone users. The first advisory in 2004 as a part of the Nordic countries advisory that included Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway and Iceland. The second advisory in January 2009 was our own advisory focused on children using mobile phones. Children are of special concern because of their developing brain. Also, studies from industry and from academia suggest that children's brain is more exposed to mobile phone radiation than adult brain when using cell phone. Both advisories point out to the uncertainty of the scientific evidence and the need for precaution in the use of mobile phones. The intention of both advisories is not to discourage people from using the mobile phone technology. However, they remind us that there are still large gaps in the knowledge of the mobile phone radiation effects on humans. The currently available scientific evidence about the effects of radiation emitted by the mobile phones is contradictory. In each area of investigation, there are both studies showing effect and studies showing no effect. For details on this issue, I would like to refer you to my written statement. In the present situation of the scientific uncertainty, the statements that the use of mobile phones is safe are premature. And if I may repeat it, to make it certain that in the present situation of the scientific uncertainty, the statements that the use of mobile phones is safe are premature. In my opinion, the current safety standards are not sufficiently supported by science because of the very limited research on human volunteers, on children, and on the effects of long-term exposures in humans. This situation of uncertainty calls not only for precautionary measures, but also for further research. Apart from the epidemiological, animal, and in vitro laboratory studies, we need a new direction in research. We need international, well-designed, comprehensive, molecular-level human volunteer studies. These studies should be aimed at proving or disproving whether human body responds to mobile phone radiation. In spite of years of research, we still do not have the answer to this basic question. However, obtaining research funds in this area is a major problem. Continuous assurances that there is no health risk that are coming from standard setting committees have caused that the funding agencies are reluctant to fund new research.